we start?
Going Ruby, anything else as far as changes here for tonight?
Ruby will go in that, expect Winnie to be back in. Still want to make a final decision on Cooley, what we do there, but we'll make that as a game time decision.
Is Jaden Schwartz available tonight? I noticed he wasn't out there.
Yeah, he's available. He's not available. Yeah.
I did talk with Winnie a little earlier this morning about how he views these last 20 games with an air of positivity and trying to make this game better. And we hear a lot about the technical side with pace and defending the rush. What most important pieces of this team's game mean the most to you in this last stretch?
From day one, we've been talking about standards, right? Our own standards. Everybody wants to make comparison to somebody else. We want to, set our own standards. And, we've been a little bit inconsistent in doing that. But really, that's the biggest thing for me. And what do I mean by that? The other night, we spent, and this hasn't been an issue for us, but we spent less than 3 minutes in the offensive zone. Why is that? We didn't win enough puck battles. We played against a mature team that knows how to win, is pretty heavy. But at the end of the day, that team puts you into tough situations in all areas of the ice. And, really, as I look at the game, we capitulated in too many of those situations. So standards in those little areas of the game, competitively, togetherness, focus and poise in different situations in the game. Those are all things that are very important through the next 20 games.
Winning puck battles, is that something that's an effort thing, or?
It's twofold, for sure, even more so. There's technique there. There's a will. A lot of times, whether it's not always the bigger player that comes out with a puck. There's a will, but there's it's a combination of will and skill in those different situations. Absolutely, technique is a big part of it, and those are things that we can continue to focus on and work at and make sure that our I went through the schedule, and I believe we have probably 10 quality practices left as we get we've got a little bit of a lighter schedule here over the next few days, but after that it gets real busy. But in saying that, we still have, I believe, 10 good quality practice days. So whether it's practice days or game nights, standards.
Faced a Detroit team that has sort of struggled defensively, except for the shutout last game. You've given up lots of goals, 5-1-5, lots of chances. I know you've made a big focus this year of wanting to see more generation of shots and rebound attempts in front of the net for your team offensively. Is that a focal point again going into tonight, or is that just consistent?
That won't vary, with who we're playing against. I mean, there's some little things. There's small details that we'll talk about, but we have to be who we are. We don't produce a ton of offense in terms of goals scored, but when we're generating chances and working hard for those chances and for us to do that, it's we do it in a lot of different ways. And when we're on our game, it starts with coming up with the puck in the offensive zone, and then we can do some good things in the offensive zone, whether they result in goals or not. My bigger concern is that we're starting with the puck in those situations more often than we did last game. The rush has dried up a little bit for us. We need to find a little bit more there off a transition and off the rush. That had been a real good piece of our offensive game. It's dried up a little bit, so need to get back on that as well.
And it looks like you've kind of shuffled up the power play personnel these last couple games. Is there something that's jumped out at you that you liked from what you've seen in those units?
Yeah, it's that's not a necessity in terms of player availability. To be very honest with you, so. It would be real nice to be able to set some units and stay with it and give some familiarity to those two units, because it matters. I mean, that chemistry matters when you're from trying to get in the zone to trying to retrieve a puck and get back up into an eyes up situation. That chemistry matters. We haven't been able to do that, so throw that and push that reason or excuse aside, and we need to go out and execute. We worked on it again. As we normally do in practice, but we had a real good day yesterday in practice with our movement and some of the little pieces, so that needs to flip into the game now tonight.
How do you find that it takes for a player to get locked in, to get into a rhythm, to find his place in a special teams so many reps?
How long? Well, it really depends on the player and whether or not you're able to put them in the right spot. That's that's the other piece. As it's not just five guys in random spots. You're trying to find and get guys into the right spots, and sometimes you don't have the perfect fit, so it can be more difficult for a player to get comfortable in that spot. But I don't know. I don't think there's any direct formula there. But reps and and a common group help for sure.
On that topic of fit with the player, we've seen some guys like Donato and Geeky come to mind for me where a lot of times they end up on the fourth line and like really their game seems like it's more of a skill game, right? So how tough is it for a player like that to, for those guys, for example, I know Donato seems like he's playing off a little bit too now.
Yeah.
How tough is it to play that fourth line?
I would disagree in saying that their game is more of a skill game. Their game starts with coming up with and winning pucks. Their game offensively, if you want to really base it on that offensively, those guys are guys that have to be inside and be at the net front in order to score. There's no history of something different. So their role, whether it's I don't label it as much as you do in terms of fourth line, third line, second line. We try to put good lines together. They've both been part of lines that have been successful when they've been confident with the puck. They use their ability with the puck, but they've also got a high degree of grit to their game. And when that's not there, then the puck is on somebody else's tape, and that usually that person is wearing a different color. Thanks.